Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the playoff scenarios, conference by conference by conference. We've got the SEC, the Big Ten, and the ACC in the books. Please check out those videos. Now we've got the Big 12 on deck. Let's talk Big 12 football. It's been difficult for this conference to make it to the playoff. 2014, a no. 2015 was Oklahoma, of course, gaining entry, losing to Clemson. 2016 was a no, as Oklahoma won with an undefeated conference record, but they lost to Houston and Ohio State. 2017, Oklahoma back in the fray. So it's been Oklahoma twice and the Big 12 shutout twice. Let's look at the best and worst case scenarios, my preseason pick, and what's going to happen. All right. The best case scenario for the Big 12 is that Texas, with the best non-conference performance and the win already over Oklahoma, for the Longhorns to run the table, finish 12-1 with a loss that would have been way back. September 1st against Maryland, long forgotten against a bad Maryland team, but still long forgotten. With 12 consecutive wins, the Longhorns running the table, winning the Big 12 championship game, and sweeping Oklahoma, defeating USC, West Virginia, TCU, Oklahoma State, a lot of decent teams, en route to a 12-1 record. The second best case scenario for the Big 12 would be Oklahoma avenging its loss to Texas. So they would have the one loss against Texas, 48-45, but a loss that's avenged always plays well into that team's hands, as it did with Georgia over Auburn in the SEC championship game in 2017. And then OU would not only have the Big 12 championship, but avenging a loss that was on the last play of the game and running the table again at 12-1, and a proven college football playoff team that played well in an overtime loss against Georgia. A lot of people believe that comes into play in assessing whether a team's going to perform well in the playoff. Have they performed well in the past? Well, Oklahoma did last year, coming very close to a win. Okay, West Virginia is the only other one-loss team in the Big 12 right now. They, of course, would have the weakest resume because, of course, they would have the same resume as Texas and Oklahoma in winning the Big 12 with just one loss, but they did not play a difficult non-conference game because that was wiped out by the Hurricane. The one matchup against North Carolina State, a team that is currently undefeated, probably will finish in the 9-3, 10-2 classification, something like that. So it would be a nice win for West Virginia to have had against North Carolina State, but they don't have it. So they would have one less win than Texas or Oklahoma, and it would be a pretty significant win. So West Virginia would finish 11-1 with a Big 12 championship. So they would be the lesser of the three to gain a college football playoff position. Worst case scenario, obviously no two-loss team has ever made the playoff. It will happen at some point. Would have happened with Auburn winning the SEC last year. So a second loss by any of these teams and then them moving on to win the Big 12 championship is not a good thing for the conference. And there's just a great, with 5 more games, so they've all played 4 conference games, and with 5 left to play in the conference, and a lot of the big matchups, including Texas, West Virginia, and West Virginia, Oklahoma, yet to be played. Those are obviously automatic losses for one of those two teams. It is very likely that the conference champion is going to have one more loss, or that the winner of the regular season as the number 1 seed in the conference championship game is going to have one loss and then get upset by the second place team, as I predicted earlier. So the best case scenario is definitely not just for Texas to win the Big 12 championship, but for them to show up against an Oklahoma team that did not lose another game. So we've got a Texas sweep against an Oklahoma sweep, and then the Longhorns win the Big 12 championship game in a sweep. My preseason prediction had Oklahoma facing Texas as the second-place team in the Big 12 championship game and Texas winning the Big 12. So I will stay with that. Oklahoma, Texas in the Big 12 championship game. Longhorns win. I stay with my preseason prediction right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We bring you the best discussion, debate, and analysis in college football. Check out our live stream on SG1 Sports. That's SG1 Sports. It's coming your way Friday at noon Eastern Time. Also a big wrap-up of the entire weekend at SG1 Sports Sunday at 11 a.m. Also, we want you to join us all day Saturday as we bring you instant analysis right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. And, of course, sign up for our newsletter, The Voice of College Football. Just send your email address to mine, your email address to markrogerstv@gmail.com, and we'll get you the newsletter, The Voice of College Football, each and every Monday.